I've seen a lot of videos just like this one where people talk about CBR and IGN articles and just absolutely destroy them. But this time, I'm taking a look at the 40 best manga of all time according to CBR. This was updated 7 days ago, but I only saw it like a couple of days ago. So yeah, I just want to see what this is all about. Let's just look at this. At number 40, we have Bungo Stray Dogs. Now, I've seen a very small amount of the anime. Yeah, I have not read the manga. I actually haven't really heard too much about it. I guess let's see what these people say. The Bungo Stray Dogs is defined by side characters like the darkly complex Dazai Osamu. So I guess this says that the side characters are really good. I've heard about Dazai Osamu, the guy who left the server after he wrote a book about himself or something. Yeah, it's at number 40. At number 39, we have Inuyasha. Now, this is a series I haven't seen or read anything. It says it's the most legendary isekai manga of all time. A lot of isekai is just straight up trash, but I have a guilty pleasure of finding isekai manga and reading them. So maybe Inuyasha would be good, but I have heard it's like a more of a shoujo type thing. I just know that it's a classic in anime and manga, and you know, a lot of people like it, so I guess well deserved to be in the top 40, but then again, I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know. At number 38 though, we have Noragami, and this is a series I read a while ago. I don't really have a lot to say about it besides it's alright. And at number 37, Case Closed, another series I haven't read, another classic I hear, I guess, good things about, and also that it's one of the longest series, I'm pretty sure, 102 volumes. That is a lot of chapters, but yeah, again, haven't read. Number 36, Assassination Classroom. You know, I do have a little bit of nostalgia for the series. I feel like when I was first getting into anime and stuff, this was one of the first series I actually watched. And I think like 2 or 3, no, probably like 2 years ago, I actually read it. Yeah, it's good, but I feel like there are better series that, you know, should be in the top 40, but I can't really think of anything else. I guess Assassination Classroom, it's alright. It's pretty good. I guess it was pretty cool to see all the students being trained to become assassins and stuff, and the teacher, it had a decent ending. 35, we have Gantz, and Gantz, well, I've actually read the series and reread the series a few times. It definitely deserves top 40. This guy, I can't remember his name. He's a cool dude. Kei Kurano, the main character, he's a bit of an asshole, or he is an asshole, and kind of becomes less of an asshole as the story goes on. Character development. But yeah, it has some good art, a very violent story. But at number 34, Demon Slayer. Now, Demon Slayer, first off, it's very popular. Like, there's no doubt about that. It's been such a huge hit ever since the anime got released in like 2019. It's actually the series that kind of got me more interested in manga, or got me to start reading more manga, I should say. It has some cool fights. The art style I kind of like. Anything to do with swords and swordsmen, I just think is awesome. But the story, it always gets trashed on, always gets called mid, and you know, it's kind of popular to hate on Demon Slayer just because it's so popular. But I'd say the story is solid. It isn't really too crazy or does anything too revolutionary, and the antagonist isn't really super amazing or anything, but yeah, I'd say it's a solid story. And I feel like when you hear of Shonen Jump or anything shonen, you kind of think of stuff like Demon Slayer. I think it deserves to be in the top 40. Maybe that's a controversial opinion or something, but it's so influential that I feel like it deserves a spot. At number 33 though, we have Yona of the Dawn, and I've heard a little bit about it, and I've also heard that it's a good series. I don't know if it deserves to be in this spot, but whatever the case, I do want to read this series. I'm really just a shonen tard, and I really like my battle action manga or whatever, but I have heard that there's a bit of action in this manga, even if it is a shoujo series. I don't really care about that. I'll read whatever, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But yeah, again, another manga I haven't read, and I'll definitely have to give it a read. But yeah, it's in the 33rd spot. Maybe that's bad, maybe that's good. I don't know. But at number 32, Hajime no Ippo. And Hajime no Ippo, it's, well, obviously it's long. It's been going on since 1989. I actually got caught up to it like a few months ago. It has like 1,400 chapters, so a lot of chapters. The main character is really what this title says, or what this article says about him, hardworking, and you really get to see his life progress, which is, I think, a good thing, because in most manga, most of the characters stay as high schoolers or middle schoolers or whatever they are. You really get to follow Ippo's life as he continues with boxing, and it's very clear he's very hardworking and kind. Does it deserve to be in the top 40? Yeah, I'd say so. A good sports manga. But at number 31, we have My Hero Academia, and I feel like this is a series just like Demon Slayer, where I guess it was very influential, but I've heard a bit of criticism, especially around the chapters recently, you know, the whole stuff with Bakugo recently, and just the way the story has been handled. For me, there were a lot of missed opportunities that could have been explored a bit more, like with Deku when he went all anti-hero and stuff. I think that could have been explored a bit more. It's something I definitely need to reread, because I don't know, I kind of keep up with My Hero, but it's kind of on and off for me. Does it deserve to be in the top 40? You know what, I say it does, but I'm kind of 50-50 with My Hero. I mean, it's alright, it's very popular, and if I would include Demon Slayer in the top 40, then I gotta include My Hero. So I really hope it has a good ending. That's all I really hope for right now, and if it does, then, you know, maybe I'll like it more. And yeah, again, I just need to reread it to form a better opinion and try to remind myself of My Hero, what it's all about. At number 30, we have Death Note. Honestly, not a lot needs to be said about Death Note. I feel like it's trying to become a classic, and at least to me, it seems like a classic within anime and manga. And I haven't read the manga, but I have watched the anime like a lot of people, and it's great. I do hear a lot of criticism about what happens partway through the story. Either way, though, I think it's a good anime. I don't really know too much about the manga, but I assume it's just as good, so it's alright to put it in the top 30. At number 29, though, we have One Punch Man, and One Punch Man, it has some great art. Honestly, you could leave it at that, but the way it's able to parody, you know, typical shonen characters and shonen plot, or yeah, I guess shonen stories or whatever, and, you know, kind of be comedic. I guess that's really just what makes it so good. Paired with some great art, it's awesome. I know recently in the story, there's been some stuff with Garu, and this is probably one of the series where I've been keeping up with. I'll just come back to it every once in a while and try and stay up to date. So ever since I kind of got into anime and stuff, this was one of the series that was always being talked about. So yeah, it definitely belongs in the top 40. At number 28, though, we have Tokyo Ghoul. Oh my gosh. Tokyo Ghoul, for me, it means so much. It's one of the first manga that I actually read the entirety of, and I actually got caught up to it while it was still ongoing. I think it was near the end of yeah, somewhere super far from the ending, but not super close to the ending either. I think that's where I got caught up. And I remember reading this series weekly, and it was just a great experience for me. I kind of got into the community a little bit, but honestly not a whole lot. Again, it's one of the first manga I read in its entirety, so I definitely hold a lot of nostalgia for it, and I just think it's super great. And it's also just my favorite manga in general, my top number one manga. I just love Ishida's art style, and personally, I'd want it to be lower down on the list at number 1. But yeah, this is CBR's list, not mine. So at number 27, we have Banana Fish. I heard a little bit of talk about this. I'm pretty sure the anime came out like last year for it, or maybe it was 2 years ago. All I know is that there's an anime for it, and it has some BL elements, and it's classified as a shoujo. I just haven't read it, that's all. I don't really know anything about it. Maybe it's interesting. Maybe it deserves to be in the top 27. I'm not too sure. At number 26, we have Attack on Titan. The ending. It's super duper no, I'm just kidding. I remember when the ending came out for Attack on Titan, and and like this article says, it was very controversial, and I don't really know how split it was between the community, but yeah, I just remember it being very controversial, and a lot of people hating on the series, hating on Isayama, and yeah, it was a crazy time. I do gotta agree with this article though, that even if the ending was controversial, it is very, very iconic. Again, kind of like a classic in Shonen Jump and in manga in general. And I watched the first 3 seasons of the anime, and then I kind of read what happened after season 3. I got caught up, and then I just stopped reading it for a while. So I did read the ending, but I definitely need to go back and reread the whole series just to see it in its entirety. And also, now that it's 2 years later, I could kind of just be a bit more neutral or unbiased while reading the ending and, the series as a whole. Definitely a series I want to make a video on because, again, it's very iconic and, yeah, kind of like a classic. I am a sucker for a good plot twist, and Attack on Titan had one of the biggest plot twists, I feel like. But at number 25, we have GTO Peak. That's pretty much all that needs to be said. You know what? Yeah. Just go read the series. I definitely reread it. A lot of these series, I feel like, that are in the top 40, I probably haven't read in a while, but a lot of them I have read nonetheless. So yeah, GTO, I love it. Go read it. Usually I'm not too crazy about older manga, and I don't know if GTO is super old, but yeah, GTO is just straight up peak. I think it honestly could be a bit lower on the list, but whatever. At number 24 though, we have Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is a manga that I really, really want to make a video on. I really love its cast. I love Gabimaru, and also I think it's the deuteragonist Sageri. I just love her, and yeah, I just think Hell's Paradise, it's a great, kind of new gen shonen, and there's actually gonna be an anime. There's been an anime announcement not super long ago actually, so next year we'll be seeing the anime for this, and it's a part of the Dark Trio alongside Chainsaw Man and JJK. I don't think Hell's Paradise is better than either of them, but yeah, it has the whole horror aesthetic and horror style going on, and also pretty dark, but yeah, it's cool manga and kind of supernatural. I think it could be a bit higher on the list. I'd say it deserves to be in the top 40, so yeah, not bad. CBR, not bad. And at number 23, Goodnight Poon Poon, and forget whatever I just said about CBR not being bad, because no matter what series you have towards the bottom of this list, Goodnight Poon Poon should be a lot, and I mean a lot lower. Its way of showing a much more realistic look at, how do I put it? I guess the more depressing part of life in general. I guess I'll take some words from the article. It has a very nihilistic view on life. It has some very mature themes. Like this article says, it's very dark. And overall, it kind of just made me depressed after I read it. But you gotta appreciate something that's able to, make you so sad and depressed. And you could kind of tell just by, your reactions to it that it's such a well-written series. And although I did cry while reading this, I do gotta say it's a good manga, but are you gonna enjoy your time with it? Maybe not, but you can still appreciate it as a work of art. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I kind of had a weird experience while reading Goodnight Poon Poon, because when I first read it, I only read up to the point where, I guess, spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, skip like 20 seconds ahead. I only read up to the point where Poon Poon, and pretty sure this girl's name is Aiko, when they're grown up and stuff, when they're older, they kind of run away together. The place I was reading it at, it only had chapters up to that point, and then I thought that was the ending. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it was still a good journey up to that point, still a good story up to that point. I was like, you know what? I'll leave it at that. And then I think it was a few months or maybe a year later where I reread Poon Poon in its entirety and, actually saw the full ending, the rest of the chapters, and oh my gosh, it made me cry. Very dark, very sad, nihilistic. But I definitely can appreciate it as a manga and for being all those things. 100% deserves to be a lot lower than it is. But at number 22 we have CBR. No CBR. What have you done? Number 22 is Vagabond. Why? I actually have a video coming out today, or not today, either before or after this video comes out. Probably before this video comes out. I just love Musashi, his journey in the manga, and the way he kind of slowly starts to learn self-control, humility, and overall just learning to become kind. And not to mention the great artwork too. The artwork is brilliant. And again, swordsman. I really like that in my manga. So I have a video out by the time this video is out. So go check it out if you want to see more of my thoughts on Vagabond or whatever. And also it has one of the biggest scumbags within manga, Madahachi. So yeah, there's that, I guess. But at number 22, like I said, you're really gonna have to have some good manga below this for Vagabond to be this high up. So I guess let's check that out. At number 21, we have Mushishi and CBR, What Are You Doing? I've watched the anime for Mushishi, and you know, it's alright. I kind of felt it was very niche, and it's kind of like a chill series, I guess. That's kind of like the feeling I got while watching it. But honestly, I don't even think I would have this series within the top 40. That's just my honest opinion. But I guess CBR just thinks differently. And especially not over Vagabond and Poon Poon. Seriously, Poon Poon and Vagabond are this high up in the list. That's just crazy to me. Whatever. At number 20, we have Made in Abyss. I haven't read or watched it. I've heard good things about it. I heard that the art is very misleading, and that Made in Abyss is actually a very dark and psychological horror type manga. So I definitely want to check it out because it piques my interest. I think this is very cool art though. Should it be a number 20? From what I've heard about it, probably. With all the series I haven't read, I really need to go and read to be able to judge for myself, form my own opinion, see whether I like these series or not. But yeah, Made in Abyss, only heard great things about it, and I really want to check it out. Especially, I've seen it only has like 60 chapters or something, and you know, they're probably really long chapters, but yeah, I need to go check it out. And I also heard it's on hiatus, so that really sucks. Speaking of hiatus, I did hear Vagabond is actually gonna be returning, or not that it's gonna be returning, but more like the author, he wants to get back to writing the series and working on it. If that ever happens, I definitely want to make some more videos on it. And yeah, Vagabond is just so good, so great. But at number 19, we have Monster, and this is another series I have read a while ago, and I really need to reread it. It's written by Naoki Urasawa, and Urasawa is just such a great mangaka. What has he made so far? He's made Monster, Pluto, 20th Century Boys. A great mangaka. Monster definitely deserves to be in this list, probably lower, a lot lower, just like Vagabond and Poon Poon and my favorite Tokyo Ghoul. But yeah, Monster needs to be a lot lower. A lot of people say that the series has the greatest antagonist in all of manga, and yeah, it's something I need to really reread. But at number 18, we have Akira. If it was me, I would not even mention the series, if I'm being honest. But I've watched the movie. I didn't really like it. I feel like a lot of people are probably mad at me for that. Does it belong in the top 40 manga? Maybe, but I'd put it all the way at the top. Something I need to read, but yeah, honestly, I didn't really like the manga, or the anime, I mean. I didn't like the animes. Just something about old anime and manga that, you know, I kind of get turned off a little bit when I hear something's old. So yeah, I don't know about this one, Chief. I don't know. But at number 17, Nana, again, something I haven't read. Another series I need to check out. Most of the series within this top 40 I need to check out. And at number 16, Naruto. It's part of the big three, a very influential manga. One of my favorites because it's just so nostalgic to me. And I was saying earlier that Tokyo Ghoul is the first manga I read in its entirety, but Naruto is the first manga I believe I read because I remember picking it up in my middle school library because they had it in there, and I was reading the first volume. It's just so nostalgic to me. Yeah, I definitely think Naruto deserves to be in the top 40. I know a lot of people would probably say differently, but either way, it was a part of the big three, so I'm not gonna be too surprised if I see One Piece and Bleach later down the line. So I guess at number 15, Fruits Basket. I don't know if you could really tell, but I am definitely a shonen tard. I like my action manga. I guess you could call it battle shonen manga. I don't really pick up too much shoujo manga, although it's not that I hate shoujo or anything. It's just that I kind of read more action oriented stuff. But who knows? I guess I should check out Fruits Basket if it's in the top 40. Already, if I'm being honest, I'm not a big fan of the art, but yeah, it's a shoujo classic, something that I have never seen, so yeah, I don't know about that. Does it deserve to be in the top 15? Maybe. Maybe not. At number 14 though, Gintama. Very comedy focused, but it also ties in some, tragic and more serious stuff. I've actually read it, and yeah, I'd say it deserves to be in the top 40. It's probably very hit or miss with the comedy, so yeah, maybe it's not for everyone, but I found it to be a decent series. But at number 13, we have Kaguya-sama Love is War. The series actually just ended, and yeah, I was kind of caught up to it. It was a different take on, the rom-com stuff. Yeah, actually pretty interesting, pretty funny. I really like Ishigami. The only problem I have with it, though, is when the goal of the series is met, I kind of feel like it kind of started to go downhill, and, it kind of seemed like it got stretched out. It should have ended a bit earlier than, however long it went on for. Do I think it deserves to be in the top 40? Yes, but definitely a bit higher, or a lot higher up on the list. Definitely not below Vagabond Poon Poon. At number 12, we have Slam Dunk. Easily deserves to be up here. I really like it, and the series actually got me to start playing basketball and, to actually start working out a little bit. So to me, it's definitely one of the best sports manga, and maybe my favorite sports manga of all time. I am kind of sad with how it ended, but, the ending isn't super bad or anything. It's just I guess it's kind of bad, but it's more abrupt to me than anything. But yeah, I definitely love Slam Dunk. The art, again, is made by Takehiko Inoue, the GOAT. I've also heard it's very, very influential in Japan, and actually got a lot of people in Japan to start playing basketball. So just from that alone, definitely deserves to be in the top 40, and probably in the top 10 even. At number 11, we have Yu Yu Hakusho. I completely forgot about Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, but I think it could be a little bit farther up the list, maybe around like number 15. But yeah, definitely deserves to be in the top 40. I really like it. I think the coolest character in this series has to be, what was his name? Hiei. Yeah, Hiei. I think he's one of the coolest characters in the manga just because of how he looks and stuff. At number 10 though, top 10, Haikyuu. I can't believe this is below Slam Dunk. I'm actually very, very surprised. I read the series all in one go when I think it was already ended when I was reading it. Deserves to be in the top 40, but yeah, definitely not this high up or this low into the ranking. I know there's probably a lot of diehard Haikyuu fans, but I'd say it was alright. It was pretty good. I mean, it got me interested in volleyball, which I never was interested in. I haven't really played it or anything, but if there was other people playing it around me, then maybe I would. It's a good sports manga without a doubt, and that's all I really have to say for the series. It's a good sports manga. It had a solid ending too, so something you might not get to see all that too often in manga. A good ending. At number 9, we have Chainsaw Man. There we go. CBR's first W. Honestly, I think this is a good spot to put Chainsaw Man at, but I'd say this is a solid spot for Chainsaw Man, especially since we haven't really seen the ending. And I mean, part 1, from what I remember, it's honestly just amazing what it's able to do within 90 chapters. And I know it's only one part of Chainsaw Man, but I just really love part 1. Now that part 2 is out, I like to do chapter reviews and stuff, and yeah, I'm just really loving part 2. And it's actually one of the series that I will probably have a video out in a few days, or sometime after this video goes up. I'll talk about part 1 and stuff. Yeah, I just really need an excuse to go back and read part 1, and I just really want to talk about it. So far, within the story, Asa and Denji, Yuko, so far we've also seen a little bit, a very small bit of another horseman of the apocalypse, the famine devil. So part 2, it's mainly focused on introducing Asa and her time spent with Yuko. So we haven't really seen too much of Denji, but I feel like as the story goes on and the point that we're in the manga, why does that sound so weird? Yeah, I really want to see what Denji, his home life is like with Nayuta. But yeah, definitely a solid spot for Chainsaw Man. At number 8 though, we have Hunter x Hunter, a classic. It actually just came back this year, so that's very great. I haven't really read any of the newer chapters, but it's my favorite anime, and I feel like it just goes without saying that it's a great manga. Togashi, he's an amazing mangaka. At number 7, JJK, below Hunter x Hunter. I feel like it should be at like number 10 or maybe number 11 or I guess at some point in the future I should do my own, top 20, top 40 or whatever to kind of show you guys how I would rank things. But JJK below Hunter x Hunter. Wow. JJK I used to like a lot more than Chainsaw Man, but over time, I don't know what it was, but I started to like Chainsaw Man more and more, and eventually I liked it more than JJK. There's just this one arc in JJK that just made me enjoy JJK so much, and that was the Shibuya arc. It was kind of built up over the whole story just for that one arc, and everything with Gojo. So it was just a crazy time to see what Yuji was going through that whole arc, how he turned out at the end of it and stuff. Right now, the arc we're in though, the Culling Games, I kind of feel like it's just been, mostly fight after fight, and I don't know, to me it hasn't been as emotional and impactful as the Shibuya arc, and it's gonna take a whole lot to be able to top that. But yeah, the Culling Games, it's been good, but not better than Shibuya, at least to me. Can definitely appreciate it for, all the fights and, just it being a straight up battle shonen, so there's that. And also, it being a part of the Dark Trio with Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise, so, that's good. And at number 6, Bleach. It's the only manga out of the big 3 I haven't really read. I know the anime just came out, and I've only heard good things about it, and that it's actually awesome and stuff, so yeah, I really want to get into Bleach at some point in the near future. At number 5, Vinland Saga. Yeah, easily deserves this spot, 100%. Vinland Saga and Tokyo Ghoul have to probably be the 2 mangas that I have reread the most, and kind of similar to Musashi, as as the story goes on, Thorfinn, he kind of mellows out, and we get to see some great character development with Thorfinn. In the recent arc, in the recent chapters though, it's been a bit slower than what Vinland's been like up until now. Yeah, it definitely seems like Vinland Saga is coming to its end very soon. At least that's kind of the impression I got. At number 4 is One Piece. I have read, I'm all caught up to One Piece. I read it weekly and stuff. Yeah, definitely amazing manga, and I really love the whole world of One Piece. I love the Straw Hats, and yeah, it definitely deserves to be in the top 40 manga, without a doubt. At number 3, we have FMA. I think it should be a lot higher, and maybe not even within the top 40. It's something I need to go and read because I've seen the anime, and honestly I didn't really find it as amazing as people always say it is. But I mean, I guess that's just me. Still though, within the top 3, there's so many better series that you could replace FMA with, and especially in this number 3 position. Yeah, does it belong in the number 3 spot? In my opinion, no. But at number 2, what is gonna be at top 1? And I swear, if it's Steel Ball Run, I mean, I'm happy. But Berserk, yeah, I've read Berserk. It's great. Thank you, Miura. Easily deserves to be in the spot. I don't think that's anything new. But at number 1, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Is this all of JoJo's? I mean, you know what? I think that's a good decision to, instead of just saying Steel Ball Run, saying all of JoJo's should be at number 1. Honestly, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. If I had it my way though, I would have Tokyo Ghoul right there, although that might be a bit controversial. I really love Steel Ball Run. I need to reread it. It hasn't really been a very long time since I last reread Steel Ball Run, and I guess it's been announced that JoJo will return return on February 17th, 2023. JoJo lands. So if that happens, if this is true, I'm pretty sure it's true, but you can never trust Twitter too much. So yeah, I think I really need to go back and watch all the animes up to, up to part 6, where I still haven't watched Stone Ocean or anything, but yeah, I want to make some videos over JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and rewatch the entire series and reread Steel Ball Run and JoJo Leon, because yeah, JoJo lands might not be it might not be super far away. Yeah, that was the top 40 manga according to CBR. I definitely disagree with the placements and even just some of the manga that are in this top 40. I feel like some of them shouldn't be in it, but glad that they at least included Tokyo Ghoul, the best, my favorite. I don't know how I feel about manga in top 10, especially this FMA. I think these two being in the top 2, it's kind of a given for any anime and manga list at this point, or any manga list, not anime, especially for Berserk. I'm very surprised that Vagabond and Poon Poon are all the way up here. That was probably the most surprising thing I saw. Definitely should be at least top 10, but I guess I'll take whatever I get. Anyways, though, this recording has been like an hour and 10 minutes, and obviously I'll cut it down and it'll probably be a lot shorter because I can barely speak a coherent sentence without spending 5 minutes to think about what I'm trying to say. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Have a good day and peace.